What is going on, everybody? It is Primitive here, and today I am going to be bringing you the finals of the PPG Denver Regional Qualifier that happened over the past weekend. Now, before we get into the match, I just want to let you know that on the left, we do have a little bit of glare on the cards. This was at the final table, so I just set up where I could, and unfortunately wasn't able to play around the glare. Now, it's not too bad, but I just want to let you know that that is going to be a thing going into the match. I set up a poll asking if people wanted me to still upload it, and they did. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get on into this match. So on the left, we have our first finalist, my teammate who is playing Armor Rush, also the player who did knock me out of top 8 of this event, and they are just going to start off the game by building up into a Flame Digimon to get some aggressive pressure going. And then on the right, we are going to be having Mastemon, our other finalist, who is just going to start off with the very strong Gatomon. Turn 1 Gatomon is also something that you kind of want to be having a lot, so that way next turn you can Digivolve for 1 up into one of your ultimates, potentially hard play another one, and then do the end of turn DNA Digivolution and just get very far ahead very early. But they do go ahead, Fire Rocket. Flame Digimon is going to swing 2 checks. Unfortunately for the Armor Rush player, they are going to hit 2 triggers, Calling of the Darkness to hand, and then Kari coming out for free, so no longer going to be able to choke the opposing player since now there's a Memory Tamer, which is obviously not good. With Mastemon, you already give them a lot just by giving them 1 memory with a Gatomon on the board, so by being able to give them multiple memory to work with is going to be pretty detrimental, and they're actually going to go with a purple memory boost and a reinforcing memory boost on the same turn. So not even building up with the Gatomon up into something else, but instead just searching and getting a decent amount of memory gain in the future. Gonna hit the Flame Hell Scythe, so 3 swings and a 3rd security check. Fortunately, the Flamemon is going to be 8k, so it isn't going to go down, and there is no Digimon in the trash to be playing off the Flame Hell Scythe, so it's actually kind of a dead card there, not really impacting too much, but still already a pretty cracked security from the Mastemon. Now ending off the turn with Magnamon here. Now this is going to be a pretty scary turn coming from the Mastemon player. They are going to go to 3 with the Kari. They have access to gaining 5 memory from both of the memory boosts, so now they're going to be able to Digivolve into Lady Devi for 1, going down to 2, and be able to draw, and then the effect draw to discard 2, so getting lots of cycle going here, seeing the cards that they probably need to see, but now they have just enough memory. If they wanted to, they could go ahead and pop up, go up to 7, they could play something like Magna Angemon and the DNA Digivolve up, or they could just pop 1, put them up to 4 memory, which allows them to play the Magna, put the opponent at 3, which is what they're going to go with the Davis anyway, and then Gatomon, end of turn, going to be able to DNA Digivolve up into the Mastemon, going to be able to put the Lucamon out into the security, and then they can either pop the Davis or they can just go ahead and pop 2 Digimon on the board. The Magna will be able to Armor Purge there. Looks like they're just going to go ahead and just choose the Lucamon there, and then they're just going to have them shuffle the security, of course, as the effect goes, but just putting the Lucamon in there, popping it back out, and going to take care of the 2 things on the board that they can pretty easily. Magna, not the greatest target because of the Armor Purge, but now the Davis is gone, so that is nice. Going to go ahead and swing with jamming. Going to swing in with the Magna. Magna just barely surviving that check right there, but still in a pretty rough position. Mastemon and Lucamon on the other end is not going to be too easy to get over, and with Mastemon sticking on the board, anytime something's played out from an effect, they're going to be able to pop something. So if something comes out of security, like maybe Sword Defeat or Flame Hell Scythe to play something else out, this could get very ugly very quickly. So gonna play out BT8 Vmon, bottom decking 2 Hammer Sparks, but still able to hit the Davis Ken, a card that you definitely want to be getting out pretty quick here in the Armor Rush, so that way you can use the effect to be able to unsuspend when you Digivolve up into one of your armors, which makes it so you can pair with Fire Rocket and whatnot to be able to go in. So now we're going to go with the Flame Hell Scythe. Flame Hell Scythe is going to come out and play the Magna Angemon, which is going to pop the Magna Angemon. And here's where things got a little bit tricky here. The opponent is going to play the Flame Hell Scythe to play out the Magna Angemon, which is going to allow for the effect of the Mastemon to pop the Magnamon. What they were trying to figure out is if Lady Devimon's effect was also going to be able to pop the Vmon underneath the Magna after it was purged. We had a very long judge call that came off of this, and the judge ruling, as you saw there, they did rule that the Lady Devi was a pending effect, so it was going to be able to get the call right there, but that was quite an intermission in the match. But that is the roll call. I don't 100% know if that is the correct call, just because there has been multiple calls on that exact same ruling. I'm gonna have to try and potentially get some more clarification, but that was what was ruled by the 2 head judges and the floor judge, so gonna have to move on with there. So now got a Vmon, the EX1 in the back. Gonna play out the Davis Ken. That will be nice to be able to potentially go for a big fire rocket turn, but as of right now, there's a good chance that this tamer might get deleted if there's another Lucamon. Gonna be able to DNA Digivolve back up into another Mastemon. Going to be able to play out the Lucamon right there, which is the only target is going to be able to pop the Davis Ken. So Davis Ken did come out, but not for very long. Nothing much going to be able to go right there. So as of right now, the Armor Rush player is just very far behind despite having the 5 security. They just don't really have anything going for them. 2 Hammer Sparks bottomed at the beginning of the game means there's like no resource management going on, no tamers, nothing like that. So going to start swinging with the Mastemons. Going to hit the Megadeth. Looks like they're checking if they want to go with the Mastemon or the Lucamon, and they also did forget a egg activation on that swing, so they're going to go ahead and get the draw discard right there. And then once that is resolved, we're going to go ahead and bounce the Mastemon. And whoa, putting it at the bottom of the deck, getting that fixed. Just a little miscommunication right there, but that could have been definitely pretty bad, but still going to fix that up. Megadeth putting it in a hand. I just don't know if I feel like I really like getting rid of the Mastemon. That just gives them the ability to DNA Digivolve once again later, especially with the Gatomon in the back. It looks like next turn it would be fairly easy for them to be able to, but it looks like they're actually just going to go ahead and Digivolve up into the Mastemon. They will be able to get the effect to put a card at the top of security, but not going to be able to search out since they did not DNA Digivolve, just regular Digivolved. But now is a potential chance for the Armor Rush player to try and come back in. If they have Fire Rocket right now and potentially an Armor Texture, they would be good, but that's not looking like it right there. They go down on the first check. No ability to Armor Texture right now, and they don't have Davis Ken, so even if they go into another armor, they're not going to be able to unsuspend unless they go into Magna, but Magna will put them at 1, and then they're going to go to 3 with the Kari, so it's not the best use of the memory. So going in with the Ragemon here, that's going to give you the ability to Megadeth if you want. We're going to go with the Spark, and think about playing the Megadeth. Yep, there it is. So got to get the Ragemon out there so you have the green source to be able to go for the Megadeth. You do get to bounce back a Mastemon, but once again, now they have one in their hand to be able to DNA Digivolve later, especially now with the Gatomon. They can just go ahead and hard play a purple Digimon right here to DNA Digivolve if they wanted, or they can just go up into the Ophanimon. They do have a yellow and a purple source they'll be able to recover and then be able to pop the Ragemon, Armor Purge down, and now it's just a Vmon sitting there, and you could swing over it, or you could just go face. I don't really think you're going to get punished too much right here. Going to be able to swing 2 checks thanks to the Angelmon inheritable with the Ophanimon, and now there's 2 Megas on the board with only 1 security left for the Armor Rush player. Gazimon coming down, so even if they did have Hammer Sparks, they're completely useless now. Nothing in raising, and that is looking like this is probably going to just be game 1 going back into the opponent's turn. They could potentially do something with Plasma Shot depending on how many armors are in the trash. I'm assuming that's what they're counting right now. It looks like they are sorting out armors, so I'd assume they have the Plasma Shot, seeing if they can clear off one of these Megas. If they clear off the Ophanimon, obviously they will just play something out, so they have to clear out the Mastemon and the Gazimon, but they're just going to go with the Magna. Magna is looking like, I believe it was at 19k, so pretty big. They're going to be able to swing no security check. They can block one of the checks, but they still have 3 swings, so no matter what, they are going to be able to take game right there unless they hit something like Megadeth. Now, getting on into game 2, Armor Rush is going to be going first. Knowing my teammate here, he loves going first every opportunity he can get, so going to choose to go first. Going to play the BT8 Vmon, grab out the Ragemon, a good card to have as a green and blue source. It does activate Megadeth, one of the few cards in the deck that can give you the green source for it, and it looks like there was a couple times where Megadeth would have been a little nice if they were able to get it out a little bit earlier, but now the Mastemon player is going to go ahead and play Purple Memory Boost, which gets to search out the Gatomon, and having turn 1 Gatomon is always just very strong, so I'd be surprised if they didn't Digivolve here. You are going to go ahead and put it in the back. Very strong card to be able to bring out and be able to Digivolve for 1, especially now with the Purple Memory Boost out. Being able to have a little bit of extra memory is going to allow you to be able to make your plays a little bit better, but once again, game 2 going to be hitting a Memory Tamer and within the top 2 checks, which is really just going to make it so they can't do any choking here. They were going to be able to potentially play Davis Ken to put their opponent at 1 with the Gatomon out, but now they're going to be sitting at 3 for the rest of the game, plus the Purple Memory Boost out there, so that was a very rough first check. So going to swing with the Angelmon. Wonder if they're swinging over. Yeah, I wouldn't really imagine them swinging security here, just because at 6k, Angelmon does have a decent chance to be able to go down to things like Chimeramon or Magnamon. So just going to swing over the Ragemon here, get that Armor Purge going. It's going to shut down Armor Texture a little bit, and also just make it to where they're going gonna have to spend more memory to get back up into an armor. If you do have something like Lady Digimon come out and you get that inheritable going, you can pop level 3s, so it's just gonna be a lot better here to get that armor purge down. But we're gonna have to see how they want to end their turn. I imagine they want to go for the DNA Digivolve, so we are gonna see the memory boost pop up, go and play out the Lady Digimon, and then end of turn be able to DNA Digivolve into the Mastemon, which is going to play the Magna, which will be able to pop, and they're going to be able to gain a memory off the Kari right there, but they're going to be able to recover up from the Masty effect and then recover off the Magna Angemon, and now they are just looking very strong. The early Masty board is very scary. Luckily for the Armor Rush player, it wasn't the Lucemon over the Magna Angemon, because Lucemon would have been able to pop their Tamer too, which is not good. You really want that Davis Ken to be able to get the unsuspending effects, and also just you need some sort of memory gain here. Not having Davis out and only really having the Davis Ken is the only memory gain outside of Hammer Spark, and it's looking like it's going to be pretty crucial and something that's easily taken away by the Mastemon player. With the Flamedramon swinging in and going down first check to the Lady Devimon, your field is already just a lot weaker because now they can very easily get over the Vmon without having to worry about armor purge, so this is very quickly turning into a scenario where we're probably going to need a Megadeth and security pretty quick here to be able to try and stabilize, but we're just going to go with the defeat. Zwart defeat coming out, popping the Davis Ken, and then going to swing in for 2 checks with the Angelmon inheritable, so that is very terrifying, and no security checks coming out, no armor textures, no tamers, no Megadeths, nothing. So now you're just down to 2 security. Your opponent has a Mega and an Ultimate on the board, while they also have 4 security, so it's looking pretty rough, not to mention the Rookie and the Raising and the Memory Tamer that the Armor Rush player also does not have. So it's not over just yet because of Fire Rocket being able to be so deadly, and the fact that this Vmon is still alive on the board means that they can get extra checks in, but it is still looking fairly rough. But we are going to see a Flame Hell Scythe come out. That is the card that was just played to pop the Vmon, so nothing to play out, but they decided that they just want to get the Vmon off the board regardless, so that way there's just not the checks there. Gonna swing in, go down the first check. A Fire Rocket and a Spark going to the bottom is terrible. You really need those Fire Rockets. Bottom decking Fire Rockets in this deck is kind of its biggest downfall because you just really want to be going for those 2 checks with Flamedramon and then Armor Texture and get 2 checks with Magnamon and stuff like that, and that's what we were going to need right here. The game isn't necessarily over at the moment since you do have 3 Digimon on board, potentially go into a 4th Digimon, and then you can hope that your security has something like Megadeth to be able to save you and bring you a turn back so you could go for game. But what we're going to see here is they're actually going to Hammer Spark to 2, go with the Magna. It will unsuspend because of the effect, and because of the EX1 Vmon inheritable, they are going to gain a memory, so they're going to be able to Digivolve for just 2, and they're going to be able to be big enough to where they're going to be able to swing over these Zwart defeats. So now they're going to have to choose which card do they want to delete. They do decide to Armor Purge once again, which I do think is correct. You do just want to get them back down to Vmons more so than you want them to be armors, and now there's only 2 Digimon on the board to swing with. I don't believe there's going to be any yellow hybrids in the Mastemon list. We never see those type of deck lists going around, so chances are they are not going to be able to go hybrid for game. They can go ahead and swing in if they want to with the Psychmon and the Magna, and then just put the opponent down to 0 security, which will threaten a later time to be able to go for game once they get 1 more Digimon to stick on the board. But they also have to be wary that there are 4 Vmons on the board. They have 3 security, and if they don't do something like Flame Hell Scythe or just clear things off the board, that they could be in danger. So gonna swing with the Magna. Are they swinging security, or are they swinging over the suspended Vmon? I believe the Vmon is actually keeping the boost from the Magna Digivolve, so they're not going to be able to swing over that Vmon without just losing their Magna for no reason. So probably gonna have to go for a different game plan here. I still think that they could go for some sort of removal or recovery and they'll be okay, or they could just swing face and then go for that removal or recovery, and then that way you recover up to where your opponent most likely won't be able to swing through you, and you also are going to be able to have the ability to just swing in whenever you stick something on board. But they decide to go with the Mastemon straight up instead, putting what I believe is the Magna on top. Nope, they actually chose to go with the Lady Devi, so 8k DP on the top. They're going to be able to tap the Kari to be able to put their opponent at 1, and now we have the 4 swings, so let's go ahead and swing in. Should potentially be able to have game depending on what's going on, but Zwart defeat is going to come out. Mastemon's effect is going to proc, and that's going to be able to delete a Vmon, and now that might just be game. I'm not 100% sure if they had game. They would have been able to swing that last check right here, cleared off security, and then if they have have double spark, they would be able to go into Magna and unsuspend and go for game. But as of right now, they're just going to play the Davis Ken. Nothing else that they can do. Not enough armors and trash to go for a plasma shot. Now they just have one security to the opponent's 2 Digimon. Going to put Psychmon in raising just in case something goes wrong, but I don't see any reason really why they can't just swing twice and go for game here. So they are going to go ahead and commit. Is it a Mega Death? It is not. It is Vmon. So Mastemon is going to be able to swing in and take PPG Denver Finals. So congrats to them for winning this regional qualifier. It was a very great event. I'm very happy to have an event just in my backyard here in Denver. Had a very fantastic time, but congrats to both of the finalists on a great performance. And if you enjoyed, be sure to like and subscribe because I'll be bringing you even more BT8 content. But with that being said, I hope you have a fantastic day. Peace out.